Hey everybody, this is Rachel from Blue Jane Creations, and this is part 2 of my update series. And before I launch into the die cutting round that I did, I wanted to just touch base back on part of the Tag Your Know Me video. These were the embellishments I couldn't find during the first video, but this is what I did with the offcuts from making the banners with that punch. They were big enough, I thought they could also make a kind of a banner for the cards. And some of them I decorated and some I did not. And these were just some of the embellishments I had. I had like gemstones, and I had what do you call that, sequin or confetti stars that I attached. So let me move that up and I'll bring this up to close. So again, this is a way to use up some of those scrappy bits from a paper pad if you really like it. Like I love the Know Me ones. I know I've said that a few times, but I do. And it just really did not want to waste any of it if I didn't have to. So that's what I did. I turned these into like a banner and decorated them, and then I have them set aside for like doing the Christmas cards or some of the, you know, if it's not really identifiable as Christmas, like this kind of isn't, then you can use it on something else besides Christmas. But I just wanted to show you really quick what I had done. And, you know, that's a lot of embellishments now. So that was a lot of stuff between the paper and the embellishment pads that I got out of that Know Me collection. So that's a lot of stuff to maximize what you purchase. Let me move that card since we don't need it. And then also I wanted to show you I'm going back and decorating just a little bit. I don't want to make these too over involved, but just to come back in and add a little bit of embellishment on some of the tags that don't really have anything. So I just added some stiggles on here for the center of the flowers, and then it's ready to go. And then the other things that I kept were these skinny banners right here, that I thought these could also be fun to use, but they're too small, I think, for the to and from, so I just left them as straight banners that I could use on Christmas cards or whatever, you know, whichever that they match. So that's just to kind of finish off the tag part of my, that stuff I've been doing in my recovery program. So I'll just move those to the side. And then I've also been doing a ton of die cutting because I have men to finish off, boy cards to make. I might be able to see if I can get some Halloween cards made. We're on standby for a show October 22nd. And then I also need to make wedding cards and just a few various other categories. So I just sat down one of the days, I didn't really feel like doing much, and just did a bunch of die cutting on and off throughout the day. So from Jaded Blossom, I have their gnome die sets, and I just got the basics. They have all kinds of accessories that you can get for different themes, like Valentine's Day, fall. I think there's some for over the summer. I don't know if that's 4th of July, but in any case, I can't get the accessories at this time, but I wanted to get the die set for the girl and the boy in making boy and girl gnomes, and then I'll just have to embellish them with stuff that I've got. They've got all the details. They've got the hands, the feet, the shoes, the mustaches, beards, you know, you name it. Pretty much all the basics are covered on the initial die cutting set. So I did a whole bunch of those in the black and white. And on the white ones specifically, I can come in and color those with either the Copic markers or the watercolor pencils. So I wasn't too bothered about trying to cut everything out of the colored cardstock. And I like these to keep as like the silhouette. I really like that look for some of the cards, so that's where I left some black. So I did a bunch of the gnome die cutting. Then I did some Halloween. I didn't do a whole ton, like I said. I don't know for sure, so I didn't want to go crazy if we don't end up getting in the show on the 22nd. But I did, this was a Tim Holtz die set for the sentiments, but you can also cut this into a square and use it as your sentiment on a card, as well as using the letters. So I just made a few of those just to test it out. The die set worked really good in the die machine. This one is similar to that. It's not the same brand. And I think I've mentioned it in the videos. In all of the video series, I will go back and find links to the stuff that I've used to put it up there, but it'll be a minute before I get it back up in the description. So, but just so you know, it will be coming. But anyway, this one is, I can't remember the name of the brand, but I'll find it and put it in there. This one was a little bit more difficult. The stuff was a little bit harder to get out. I'm not sure if I had my sandwich wrong on the die cutting machine. So I'll play around with that a little more when I get a little bit more downtime and try it out. But I did make a few, and again, you can use the letters, or you can just use this on the card, and then whatever your background paper is will come through and show in the letters. So I will give that a go. I made also some ghosties from these die sets, and these are really cute. I did them on a couple types of paper. I thought the little textured paper would be fun for the ghostie, as well as just some plain white cardstock. And if I wanted to, I could color them, because why not? So I just made a few of those. Like I said, I was just kind of doing a sampler, because I do have a lot of other Halloween embellishments I need to use up. So I didn't want to get too crazy with the die cutting on the Halloween stuff. I did make a ton of this, as you can see, because there's a lot of cards I need to make with those that I don't have. And to keep with the Halloween at the moment, this is Whimsy Stamps. This is I think it's the wonky window, but again, I'll link the information to it. But I've been wanting to play with this for a while, and I have to play around with the sandwich. I don't know what I did wrong, but it was really hard to get it to cut properly, so I got to figure out what I did wrong, because I know it was me. It wasn't the dies. They cut beautifully. I just don't have the sandwich right. So I did a bunch of frames for the wonky window. Like you see here, there's one where you get the grid pattern, and then here you see one of the wonky window frames. And these are the bits that go inside. I just kind of kept them separated. And you just have to, when you're putting them back in here, you have to just watch, because every size is completely different. But you can mix up the cardstock you use to fill in the window. But that was fun. I'm trying it out with the Halloween, like I said. I just gotta fix my sandwich. Then I also did another Tim Holtz one. This one I did a little bit more on the die cutting than the Halloween, but this is really fun. This is the Tim Holtz, I think it's called In the Park or something like that, and I'll put that also in the description, of course. But it's the guy and the girl, and if that does not be a throwback, if that is not a throwback to Mary Poppins, yeah, I don't know what else could be. It doesn't have to be, but there is an umbrella included in here, so I'm not sure if that was Tim's reasoning, but it's really cute. And I love, love, love this, the silhouette. That's why I kept some of the Nomis in black, because I just love that look on the background. So I did all of these in the black silhouette. And yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So I just did some of those. And in addition to the Halloween and the gnomes and stuff, I needed to make some embellishments for the boy cards. And I need to do a lot of like newborn and baby. I had a lot of requests for those last year, so it pretty much wiped out my stock. And I just came in, I also had, this was fun, I had a die for a dad's tie. So I cut out a few of those. Not too many, but I thought those would be funny to put on the men's cards to kind of finish them off as well. So I did, the men's, and then I did a bunch of die cutting for boy, probably newborn, baby, that kind of category for the boys. And this is an alligator, and I got an elephant and a little giraffe, as well as cloud, moon, stars, typical baby stuff. And I didn't want to do just one pattern or just standard, so I just used a bunch of different if I could talk, paper scraps that I had that went with the boy theme. And I even used these were like some background papers that I cut. Sorry, let me move. I had adjusted my light a little bit. It was kind of in my eyeballs. But I used some background papers that I had made with gesso, acrylic paint, spray paint, that kind of combination. So I thought, why not use it? They made fun colors to add to the shapes. So I just kind of used whatever was in there and made a bunch. And yeah. So that's what I did for the boy cards that I need to make. And then from there, I went into making the Tonic Studio die set, which I'll show you in just a second. And lastly, I have this Tonic Studios Country Apron, I believe is the name of it, but I'll link all the info down below. I don't know if this is still available. I will try to do some research and let you know, or you can just take a moment and hop over to the Tonic Studios website and take a look. But I believe it is Country Apron, like I said. And I wanted to use up some more of the black and white paper scraps, so the panels that I'm going to use as the front of the little gift box, I'm doing in the black and white, and all the rest you can see I'm going to cut out of the white cardstock. So you need 2 panels to build the sides, and you need 2 of these to build the bottom, or the front and back panel, I should say. And then you need 2 of these to build the bottom and the sides. And I think what I'll do is do a quick little demonstration video. I don't want to do it here to make this video too long, so it'll be a short demonstration. And again, to keep me from overly talking, I will do it with the text bubbles at a normal speed, but it should still be a short, quick video showing you how to do it. So for the main panels, you have, this is the main die set, and then they have little accent pieces that you can cut out to decorate the front of your panel. And it's just super easy to put it together. You could use a little bit of the tape, but I think along with most people, they recommend for something like this to use the wet glue in case you need to move the pieces aside, to line them up. You get the play to do that with the wet glue. I have approximately 40 panels here, and this is just some of the ones that I cut down to decorate. I didn't want to put them on all of them, and a lot of them will just be decorated like this, and this was not really thought out, so it's not exactly how I would present it, but it gives you the idea of using, you could use twine, the jute, I used this like tinsely strand, the bows, whatever you want to decorate it, you can do that, because I still really, my favorite is the black and white with the pop of color, so that's what I wanted to demonstrate here. So that is part 2 of the little update series of what I've been up to, and I will leave off here, and then I will see you in part 3.